Good afternoon. I thank KCSI for giving me the opportunity to deliver this quick lecture today. Medical statistics has been considered as a rather dry, boring subject with a lot of complex calculations and difficult to understand, difficult to learn, especially for the doctors and surgeons. It's not so. It's a science of theory. That is, science means it is reproducible and it tests the quantitative evidence in biomedical research. That means the qualitative data you cannot test in medical statistics. If you have got qualitative data, you convert it into some sort of numbers. For example, if you have a pain, you should convert it to visual analog scale, consciousness, glass performance scale, like that. You should convert it into scores and numbers. Then only you can test it in statistics. Why do we need the statistics for doctors or surgeons? The most simplest answer is to make sense of data. I'll give you an oversimplified example for this. I have collected pulse rates of 100 healthy volunteers and put it in this table. What sense does it make to you? Obviously nothing. It is just some numbers, random numbers. You cannot make out anything. So if I put the same data in the form of this table like this, then it makes some sense. If I put it like this, it makes still better sense. You know the average, median, and 95% confidence interval, or put it in a graph. Quickly you can understand what is the pulse rate for the next patient you are going to, what is expected. So it you know. So the statistics is required to make sense of data. Where this knowledge is required to design your studies, it tells you what data you have to collect to, and after collecting the data, how to analyze it, how to interpret the data, and how to draw conclusions. All these things you come across in medical statistics. If you don't know what will happen, you will end up like this man. He is struggling to see over this wall. All he needs is a single ladder and he has plenty of them. He is struggling because he doesn't know how to use his resources, how to use a ladder. We Indian surgeons do plenty of surgeries. We have a lot of clinical materials, but we fail to convert them into good research papers because we lack the knowledge of research methodology and statistics. It is utilized almost all fields utilizes statistics, be it sports like cricket or election. They also you come across statistics. Any field you take, you come across statistics. These are the broad outline I'm giving, but I'm not going into details of this because my class is restricted to use for a surgeon. To put it in simple words, you need statistics to interpret correctly the number you come across while reading a journal articles. It may be discussion in the journal club or reading any article, any even textbooks also they give a lot of numbers. If you don't understand them, you cannot understand the concept also. If you are a medical college student, you have to teach your students how to use these numbers. Again, you need it. If you are a peer reviewer, a lot of papers will come to you for analysis and giving recommendations whether to accept the paper or not. So again, you need medical statistics there. If you are a postgraduate student, you need to write symposium. You have to design your dissertation topic, design a study. Then you have to write it. Or if you have already done a study, you have to convert it into a good scientific paper. Everywhere, statistics you come across. You should have at least basic understanding of some of the statistical terminologies like null and alternative hypothesis, what is the meaning of p-value, how to interpret it, what is a confidence interval, what is sensitivity, specificity, what is a standard normal curve, or what is a standard. All these are basic things that much at least you must know. It is required to understand and correctly interpret the numbers tables you come across in journal articles I already told you, and to make your own analysis of the tables what you come across there. What happens if you depend totally on statistician? There is nothing wrong in approaching the statistician for help, but if you approach with some knowledge, you will definitely get a better output than if you don't know anything. This is most important. Statisticians may not be easily available to you, especially if you are in a private, then you may have to pay them. And instead of that, you may not get a timely response. He may not be free when you are free. He may send back your data asking for further details and more data. or some clarification. Then you will send again, and again it will come back. Like that, back and forth communication sometimes happens for months together, and to get the final output, it may take several months. And all these things somehow you can tide over, but that's the last thing I'm more bothered. Sometimes we get a wrong analysis and wrong conclusions, and we don't even know that it is wrong because we don't have knowledge of statistics. This is the most dangerous thing. I can give you plenty of examples, but very few more typical model examples I have taken here. This is a paper I saw in one of the case sequence presented. This student has studied some gel and want to see whether it can heal the ulcer faster. So he had a control group and study group. He measured the ulcer area initially, and after 2 weeks he had this table. He gave it to statistician. Statistician did not understand the intricacies of medical conditions, and what he did, he took the study table. he, each patient has got one pair of data, initial and last, after 2 weeks. So he conveniently applied pair repeaters and calculated p-value less than 0.05, and he gave conclusion that it is significant. Del X is useful in faster healing of the ulcers. Could you recognize where he went wrong? This is what happens, and the student, neither his mentor, nobody has recognized what is the problem, what is wrong with that, and they just presented in the conference. Actually, what he should have done, he should have calculated decreasing area of the ulcer by deducting final area from the initial area for each patient. Still better, percentage of decrease in the ulcer area. So now we have got the two sets of data, one for control group, one for study group, and compare these two using independent t-test, not pair t-test. The statistician had totally ignored the control group. That's why they went wrong. If you do this using the independent t-test, you get p-value 0.25. That means del x is not useful. It doesn't really ulcer faster than the control group. There is no difference between these two groups. That should have been the correct conclusion. We got a totally wrong conclusion, and neither his mentor was aware that the results are wrong, conclusions are wrong. So many times we read the published articles and we just take it, whatever written there is the ultimate, and try to apply in our clinical practice. But while reading, you should be careful to see, analyze yourself whether whatever written is correct or not. For example, this is a paper published in Indian Journal of Surgery in 2019, comparing two groups there. And there were several flaws in the methodology. So all those things we wrote in a systematic manner as a critical analysis of the paper. And this item number 7, this is totally with the medical statistics. There were several flaws in the statistics also. All these things I wrote, and we sent it to Indian Journal of Surgery, and it was published as a original paper in a subsequent issue. So this is about the critical analysis of the published paper. Similar critical analysis is better done in a journal club. I am thankful to Dr. Lakshman, who has included me in the journal club discussions of Sagar and Sturt group. There we take up one article every month and discuss it. Usually we consider a randomized controlled trial from a reputed journal and recently published. This article was published in 2019 in British Journal of Surgery, comparing IPOM and IPOM Plus. There were several flaws in the methodology, writing, materials, all those things. In particular, I want to bring your attention to statistics part. Here also, they had used wrong calculation of the p-value, choosing a wrong method, or using the incorrect uh, variables, that is the categorical variables. They have taken different methods. Those were wrong flaws were there. Especially, I want to bring your notice this table. See, this table, they have calculated p-value using chi-square test as 0.47 and concluded that the recurrence rate is lower in IPOM plus compared to IPOM. We calculated p-value using the same data, using the same chi-square test, and we got value of 0.55. So the correct conclusion is there is no difference between these two groups as far as recurrence is concerned. All these flaws, we wrote a letter to the editor of the British Journal of Surgery, and this part concerns with the statistics. After getting the opinion from the original authors, editor obliged us and published our letter in a subsequent issue. That means even in reputed journals, this study was from a reputed uh, institute. It has gone through the medical statistician also. Still, there were flaws. So this is what I wanted to tell you. I am a peer reviewer for Indian Journal of Surgery. So I keep on getting many articles. The authors many times they lack the knowledge of statistics and commit so many mistakes. For example, take this table. There are number 1 0 like that. If your table contains numbers as small as 1 0, you cannot use chi-square test. Instead, you should go for Fisher's exact test. Here, he is trying to check the accuracy of two things, radiological diagnosis and clinical diagnosis, taking the final diagnosis as the gold standard. Here, he again calculated chi-square. Actually, for calculating the accuracy of a test, you must go for sensitivity and specificity, not chi-square test. In this study, the author has divided the diabetic foot ulcer patients into three groups depending upon the level of HbA1c, level group 1, 2, 3 like that. And in this table, even other parts also there are flaws. I just give one example in PVD, peripheral vascular disease. He got p-value for three groups more than 0.05, not significant. But the data is correct, but interpretation is wrong. See what he has written. Presence of PVD, peripheral vascular disease, did not affect the rate of wound healing. This is difficult to digest even theoretically. It's a wrong conclusion, wrong inference of the data. What he should have mentioned, the number of patients with PVD did not differ significantly in these three groups. That's what he wanted to mention. He should have mentioned, but he has mentioned or interpreted in a wrong way, telling that peripheral vascular disease did not affect the wound healing. So these are the flaws you come across. This another this one. Chi-square test was used to test the association between two categorical variables. Actually, if you want to check the association, you should check correlation, not chi-square test. This is the concept you have to use. In this, he is trying to calculate mean p-values. P-values cannot be average. If you have got 3 or 4 p-values, you should just mention like that. You cannot find the averages. In this regarding the PGs, they write the synopsis and the RGHS has returned or rejected some of the synopsis sent back to the PG, quoting some of the lack of statistics or wrong statistics, of methods, all these things. So this is one such example. Because of the wrong statistics and wrong calculation of the sample size, it has been rejected and returned to the PG after 6 months of submission. Now you try to imagine the fate of the PG or the condition. He will get tensed what to do now. Such papers many times I receive from my friends asking for suggestions to correct it. Regarding awareness and knowledge of the doctors on medical statistics, a study was published in 1987. A form was sent to 250 doctors with 9 questions on basic statistical terms. Only 59% responded. Remaining 40% were not at all interested. The median score was only 2.4 out of 9. Means the interest is less, the knowledge is also less. I tried to conduct a similar survey now recently because this was a very old one, and this is the Google form I used. Now we have got this Google form. It is easy to conduct any survey. I reached about 400 doctors and only 53 of them they responded. This is the form I used, and among the respondents there were roughly one-third each in consultant surgeons and medical college faculty and postgraduate students. Among the faculty, all types of assistant surgeons, associate and professors. They were almost in equal numbers. About half of them never bothered to read any journal articles, and only three, that means around 6% of them, they understood the concepts of statistics which was discussed in the articles. Majority, around 43%, they understand only a little bit, and majority part of the statistics they don't understand. And all of them, about 90% of them, they opined that the statistics should be taught during undergraduate and postgraduate days, and regarding the knowledge of the faculty to teach their students. The most of them they said that the faculty also didn't have enough knowledge. They are always dependent on the statisticians. And what they do when they come across some statistical problem. Majority, 60% they approach the statistician. The next popular thing was Google Guru. Other things, some people they just skip it and they don't bother at all. This is something bothersome. About 70% of our members among the responders, all of them are our KCSA members only. They were not even aware that the information on research methodology and statistics are available in our website, kscasa.com. And these people, we KCSA should take some initiative to make it popular. About half of the respondents, they knew that online softwares are available for easy calculation of the various steps of significance and research concepts. And half of them had direct access to the statistician, but they are not satisfied with their work. About two-thirds, they said, okay, statisticians are approachable, they can get the help. But again, if you see what is the satisfaction level regarding the final output, about 60% of them did not get satisfied. Means only 16% were satisfied. Sorry, about two-thirds of them were not satisfied by the final results. These are the various problems they faced, and most of them said the statistician may not be available timely, and some of them are arrogant, like that. So many things they said regarding the problem. And the suggestion or remarks what they gave, the medical statistics should be made a compulsory subject in MBBS and postgraduate examination. This is what they felt. And regarding the usefulness of the survey, majority, about 64% said that this survey addresses a valid problem and it is useful, it should be done. 2% said it is waste of time. There is no use in conducting such surveys. But majority, around 47%, they said every surgeon must know the medical statistics that form the basis of this talk. And to know their interest regarding medical statistics, we asked whether they are interested in taking the quiz. More than around two-thirds of the respondents, they said they are interested. So KCSA should take some action to cater this part. Hence, they should conduct some quiz on medical statistics. What can we do to solve these problems? We must all understand that we need a right mind, right mindset, that we should understand that the statistics is required for every doctor, including surgeons, and we must learn it. Once we realize that and agree that we must learn, there are several ways. If you visit kscsa.com website, there is one tab, Research Methodology Workshop. Click over that. This is contains information on various workshops we used to conduct. Before Corona, we used to go to medical colleges and conduct workshops. We have conducted about 7 to 8 workshops like that. After Corona also, we continue to do the same thing virtually on a Zoom platform. There were two sessions. Session 1, second part, it is totally dedicated to medical statistics. You can go through that. And there is another tab, Research Methodology Workshop. You click here, you get all the PowerPoints and the video presentations of our workshop. You can download them free. There is no copyright. Use it either as it is or with some modification to conduct similar workshop in your own institutes. You can do that. KCSA has published a book on evidence-based medicine and research methodology. One chapter is dedicated to medical statistics in this book. It is also available in the KCSA as a e-book for free download. I also created my own website and one whole page is dedicated to medical statistics. Please note here, lakshminx.in. This is my website. If you click on the medical statistics, these are the things. These are the Excel sheet calculators I have created using Excel. You can calculate mean, median, or standard deviation, sensitivity, t-test. All these things you can do here. And that book, what I mentioned, it is also available here for free download. You can download from here. And there are some links to useful calculators. If you click there, it takes you to various websites. You can do so many tests, Fisher's test, t-test, or you can how to randomize the patients using computer generated random numbers, or which test to use, or sample size, how to calculate. All these informations are available here. I have also written a book on medical statistics for beginners, which was published by Springer in 2016. If you are interested to buy, it's available on Amazon. Also, this is one more important information. If you got any problem, you don't know the answer, you just go to this website, researchgate.net, and click here. You can post a question there. Here, you can type your question. There is a group of knowledgeable kids who are eager to answer, help you out. They give very good answers and give solutions to your problem. Today in 21st century, it's not only the hard work pays, along with the hard work, you also should have smart things. So you need additional knowledge, get smart, and do all this calculation, know the statistics. That's more important. To conclude, the knowledge of statistics is a must for all the doctors, including surgeons. Two, why we need it to make sense of data. It is high time that we learn the statistics and teach our students both in undergraduate and postgraduate curriculum. It should be made a compulsory subject there. And the what you are bothered is the complexity of the calculations and remembering those formulas. So you just don't bother, forget it. Have a thorough understanding of the concepts, where you should use, where you should not use, like that. Then calculation you can do easily using various calculators, and the online softwares are available for that. My intention here is not to tell you about all the information on the statistics, but to help you create some interest and make you realize statistics, to know the statistics or to learn the statistics. It is important, and that's all my interest. Once you get interested,